TWM podcast.
Thank you for hitting the download button on this episode of Anything But Wrestling. Before I get to my guest, I just want to run through all the usual admin. This is a TWM podcast, bringing you news, reviews and interviews 6 days a week on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Acast, TuneIn, Deezer, Podbean, all the usual places, but also available on YouTube. Just search TWM Podcast. Please subscribe, smash that like button and turn on notifications so you do not miss a single bit of audio content or any video content that we put up as well. We are brought to you by We Love Sport, a fantastic app to help you find your nearest sports bars and pubs. Obviously, in the current climate, that's not the case, but they are doing some fantastic things over on the social media at We Love Sport UK and welovesport.co. But download the app. It's available on Apple and Google Play Store. When all this stuff is over and done with and you're looking for a place to watch SummerSlam, Survivor Series, TakeOver, WrestleMania, anything, you can go on there. And you can book front row seats as well, so you do not miss a second of the action. WrestleCrate will also tag teaming up with them to use a bit of wrestling vernacular, the only part you're going to hear on Anything But Wrestling. If you go onto wrestlecrate.co.uk and use the code TWM Wrestling, you can get up to 3 free items if you sign up to a monthly box. There's loads of stuff from WWE, AEW, New Japan. Fantastic stuff. Go get involved. TWM Wrestling, up to 3 free items if you stay for up to 3 months or longer at wrestlecrate.co.uk. Now, let's now speak to our guest. Welcome to Anything But Wrestling, where we talk to some of our favourite wrestlers, to be honest, because we're bored, they're bored, and we're all stuck inside. And we're going to talk about anything but wrestling. Could be music, films, live, TV, anything, just nothing inside those 4 ropes. Joining me today is a British independent wrestler, but she's also a highly successful YouTuber, model, and one of the loveliest people I've ever met. It's the glamour, Mariah May. Hello there, Maz. It's nice to talk to you again.
Hi, it's so good to chat with you. I'm really excited for this.
What I love is we do these interviews sometimes, like do the interview, back out again. Me and Mariah have literally been sitting for about half an hour just catching up. So how are you? How's stuff? Now we'll do the interview. We'll chat for everything. But how are you coping with the current situation? How are you coping with lockdown? How are you keeping yourself busy? How are you keeping yourself sane in these weird times?
Well, I've sort of reached this place now where I'm just literally making like 5 YouTube videos a day every day. Like, I don't know what my subscribers must be thinking is going on, but like I think they're enjoying it. But it's literally like me every single day on YouTube, like 5 videos. I think seems to be my coping mechanism. It's like self-recognizing that I seem to be coping by just filming and editing and posting 5 YouTube videos a day. It seems to be what I'm up to. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep busy, really. Like, when lockdown started, I was actually really unwell, so I really didn't get anything done. And I'm one of those people that needs to be busy. Like, everyone's different. Everyone copes in different ways. And for me, if I'm not, like, actively doing something, I get really in a bit of, like, a low place. So I really struggled at the start of lockdown, but I feel like everyone did, because it was, like, trying to adapt to not being able to do things you love, maybe not being able to work, not being able to see people you care about, maybe people you care about not being very well. And, at the start, obviously it was quite a scary time. And I feel like now, obviously it still is, but I think we're all learning to kind of cope it and keep busy. And for me, it was just like, okay, well, wake up, get some sort of routine, stay active with different home workouts that I've been doing. And yeah, like I say, I've been able to do a lot of YouTube. I've been enjoying it, being able to kind of keep some sort of content out there, because obviously I'm not able to post like wrestling matches or vlogs. And yeah, I think I've just been going crazy on YouTube. That seems to be the Mariah May coping mechanism for quarantine.
It's one of those things, and it's one of the reasons that kind of after our interview and kind of just chatting online and also seeing each other in person and stuff, is why me and you kind of, I feel like, became friends and stuff. We have the kind of same creative mentality, where it's like, if I'm not doing something creative, my mind is left to like wander, and then that's when you start overthinking, and that's when like negativity creeps in. And I was actually the same thing. If I'm not doing something creative, if I'm not like got my hands on a computer, or I'm not editing, or I'm not doing something, and I'm left to my own devices, unless it's a time where I'm like, I need to chill, my mind starts to like overthink things, and and it's important to keep yourself busy. We've also seen, especially on your YouTube channel, your channel that I think just reached, was it 200 Three.
Oh wait, what were we talking about? 3,000 subscribers, 200,000 views.
Yes, that was it. Both those things. 200,000 views, 3,000 subscribers. Amazing. But I know that you're one of the millions of people that's now obsessed with Animal Crossing.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh well, I don't know what to tell you really. Like, it's just my life now. I feel like I always played it when I was younger. Like it's one of those games that I kind of always had in my childhood, and there's nothing better than, as you always like. I don't know about you now, but I still got some of my old games in my old consoles, so you can revisit them.
Yeah.
But I think what's amazing about it is the graphics, because it's like, technology has evolved so much. So like from when we were a kid, they were like little blocks. Like now it's literally like the most lifelike, because Animal Crossing, you're a human in it and there's animals and you live in like a normal kind of land. It's so lifelike and realistic when you compare it back to the older games. So I do think what's amazing is like you still get the nostalgia kick, but you're kind of playing it in a game that you're used to in terms of how up to date the technology is and how like incredible the graphics are and how like sped up it is, and do you know what I mean? Like it's like the best of both worlds really, because you get the game that you love, but then you get it kind of reimagined with like these amazing graphics, and obviously there's new things to do and stuff. But yeah, I always grew up playing it. And when it came out, I mean, I've been counting down for that since like Christmas. And I feel like, I don't know what the marketing technique was, but they kind of released it at a really good time, because they released it in quarantine. Like I literally know some of my friends who just bought a Switch to play it. They didn't even have a Switch, and they've literally bought it just to play Animal Crossing from the fact that they've just stuck indoors and they've run out of things to do. So they've bought Animal Crossing. So for them, it's worked out really well, I suppose, because they've probably knocked out like an extra couple of million Animal Crossing games. But yeah, I'm obsessed with it. I make loads of YouTube videos about it. I just think it's such a fun game because it's so creative and stuff. But I do feel like it's quite relaxing, because we obviously were just saying how we're both quite creative and we struggle when you're not actively working. But I struggle to relax. Like I can't watch television. I can't do it. I just sit there and think about loads of different stuff. So when I play Animal Crossing, I actually just relax, because I'm doing something, but you're not exactly working. Do you know what I mean? Like you're just playing a relaxing game.
Yeah.
So I really like it for that reason, because I feel like for me it's a really good way to kind of just wind down and relax, because TV for me, I just get antsy. I'm just like, oh, I need to do X, Y, and Z, or oh, I really missed this, or I'm not doing this. Whereas like when I'm playing Animal Crossing, I'm just sort of just relaxed playing on a funny game, and yeah, it's good fun. Animal Crossing.
I feel like a lot of people are kind of like, you get split into, I feel like there's like these three different sections of people that are playing games during quarantine, that it's gone down. You either go down the Animal Crossing route, which is a bigger one than most, or you go down the route that I did, which is Football Manager, where I've done like 4 years in the space of like 5 weeks. So I've been sitting there. At one point, I think it dawned on me that I played the game from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Like,
oh no!
I'm like, well, those were 13 hours I've just used well.
I feel like I used to play that when I was younger. Like I don't know if it was a different kind of game. It was definitely got like Footy Manager or something.
It used to be Championship Manager, and then it was like Football Manager. There was a whole bunch of them. Oh, that one. Or a lot of people have like jumped back into The Sims as well, which is again, it's just all that simulation
don't talk to me, because I was on The Sims for like 3 hours last night. But I spent the 3 hours, like when you play Sims, obviously you create your sim, you create your house, and then you actually play the game. But yeah. I feel like a lot of people spend hours creating the sim, because you get to pick like a different outfit for every occasion and all this. They decorate, like they make the sim for like hours, and then you decorate in the house on a low budget for hours, and then finally when it's time to play the game, it's like 1 a.m. and you're like, oh, better wrap it up now and call it a day.
It is so it's so true with a whole bunch of these games, like the WWE games when they weren't crap. Like when you're doing like universe mode, me and my friend would talk about this. You'd be like, right, I'm setting up my universe mode. I'm going to have like, I don't know, NXT or like Progress or whatever. But then you spend like 8 hours setting that universe mode up, and you go, well, finally set it up. It's time for my first show that I'll do tomorrow, because I've spent 8 hours setting the game up.
Yeah, because it's like, even with Sims, like I'm going to obviously make some Sims content for my YouTube, because obviously I've done Animal Crossing, and like, I'm really enjoying playing the Sims, and there's a whole world out there on YouTube of Sims content that I just didn't even realise existed. And I thought, well, go on then, like, I play Sims, I'll give it a go. And the thing is, I just realised is obviously I want to start it from the beginning now, so I'm going to have to spend like a whole extra 2-3 hours making my sim all over again and making my house. But I couldn't resist last night. I was like, I just want to play it. Like I was obviously in my pajamas. I wasn't filming a YouTube, and now that I'm probably going to film a YouTube later, I'm like, oh, for God's sake, like, I've got to go through the whole building a sim and building your house for another 3 hours. Just to make this content. But I think that's always the way, like, you spend more time decorating and like making things rather than actually playing it. Like with WWE, I remember I had it a couple of years ago, and I went on to, is it career mode, where you like literally have like kind of a story rather than just like the free play. But I was trying to make a girl. I didn't realize you couldn't make girls, so I'm on there thinking, where's the girl hairstyles and stuff, and then it's suddenly like I googled it and it's like, you don't have a female in that mode, and I was like, oh. She spent an hour trying to figure out how to make it look like a girl.
Like, where's the hair? Where's the? This is really frustrating.
Where's the 2-piece? And I'm like, because also, couldn't you like scan your face in or something? I don't even know. And I'm thinking, like, could, yeah, I'm gonna scan. I'd scan my face in and be on a bloke. Do you know what I mean?
A powerful image.
I feel like on the new one you can have girls now, can't you?
Yeah.
I've got that one. I haven't actually played it. People keep asking me to make 2K content, but I'm just terrible at it. Like every time I play it, I play Dan, and I just get annihilated every single time. And he's taking it easy on me as well. Like sometimes he puts the remote down. He puts it down, and I'm there like hitting the buttons, and I'm like, why am I still losing?
Why isn't this The Sims?
Why isn't it working? Why can't I cheat?
If Tom Nook was here, I wouldn't have this problem.
Exactly.
That's brilliant. Yeah, I'm looking forward. There's a lot of weird sim content on YouTube. I remember
it's crazy.
The one that always sticks out in my mind is someone made like a YouTube series of making, like, giving birth to 100 babies with 100 different people on The Sims.
What? I just don't have the patience. I've seen some that are like kind of play along series, which that's kind of what I might do. And I've seen a couple that are like challenges where, you can, on Sims, you can fast forward it. Yeah. But the idea of Sims is obviously you're meant to look after them, like keep their needs up. So like you need to take them to the toilet, give them a shower. It sounds quite weird, this game now. Give them a shower, make sure they eat, make sure they go to work, get some sleep, all that kind of stuff, have relationships. But what you do is you put it in like super speed mode, and you have to try and get through a week with a full house of Sims. So it's like 8 Sims. And make sure none of them die. And I've watched a couple of those. I don't know why, but I'm like crying my eyes out, because it's just, Sims is ridiculous. Like the way people die and stuff like that, it's just hilarious. And like the expressions and stuff that they do. But I've seen some really, really crazy ones. Like, people can make mods now. Yeah. There's like a super violent mod, and someone went around and killed every single Sim.
That shouldn't be funny, but it really is.
It shouldn't be funny. Like I remember seeing it popped up on my YouTube. Don't know why. I don't know what Cookies was thinking, but it popped up, and I thought, okay, well, this is ridiculous. So I ended up watching the whole thing and literally crying my eyes out at like just everyone dying. But it was just so funny. Like all the Sims were burning, and then the other Sims were just walking towards them. I'm like, what? But
it's one of those things you do when you're at any age, really. But you start doing this thing, and it's like, oh, this is brilliant, and then a second passes, like, am I a sociopath? Like,
do I need help?
Do I need help here? Like, I remember like playing like Grand Theft Auto back in the day, and finding a game that was tremendous fun, where it was just sitting on like a massive balcony with a rocket launcher and just like trying to hit as many cars as it goes past possible. And you're sitting there going, that if someone walked into you doing that, like, questions would have to be
questions should be asked. Like I had Sims, and I'm playing Sims like a normal person here, and I couldn't help it. Like this Sim came to visit this man, obviously had a family, and so I was trying to get my Sim set up with him, and he rejected me. So when he went to the toilet, I took the door away and like let him die in the bathroom.
I was literally going to ask, and generally the next question was, have you done the thing that I think we all did as a kid, which is like, have you
take the doors,
or when they're in the swimming pool, take the ladder out? So like,
yeah, I just left him to die, and I also made sure I took out the like toilet as well, so he just died.
I know what.
And then I took his little, because you get like a little pot of ashes. I took it round and put it on his family's doorstep and left.
Oh, I can't wait for when we put this up on YouTube. The title's just going to be, we discover Mariah May's a psychopath. But
then, do you know what though? Like, I feel like everyone does it. Not in real, as long as you're not doing it in real life.
It's fine, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Call of Duty, like, I mean, we've got mass murderers out there. As long as you're not doing it in real life, and you know,
it's fine, yeah. Just do it virtually.
I feel like it is video games' fault. I mean, I grew up playing like The Simpsons Hit and Run. I mean, you just drove around and just run people over and stuff. Was it Simpsons Hit and Run? Was that what it was called?
Yeah, no, I remember Simpsons Hit and Run. It was.
I thought it was just called Simpsons, but I made it a hit and run game, so I feel a little bit better knowing that the game concept was actually that you were meant to do that. But I actually just drive around and hit people with cars. So do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the games that we grew up with have really like affected us.
I love that. This is what it does us. I feel bad. I'm going to get a text from you like in about a couple of hours ago. You've made me realise that I might be like. I might need help now. Cheers.
Yeah, the things aren't okay here. Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine, because I'm sure it was a kids' game.
Oh yeah, like you'd be surprised. Like the stuff you could do on The Sims, and it's still classed as a kids' game. Anyway, before we get into any more psychoanalysis of ourselves playing computer games, let's stick on the YouTube front. As you said, 200k views, 3,000 subscribers. You're doing bits on YouTube at the moment. Congratulations. How are you finding it? Because obviously. Like the YouTuber world is a very interesting place.
I find YouTube to be antagonizing. I dislike the people who made YouTube. I don't like them. It stresses me out, to be honest. But I just love making the content, and I love connecting with my fans. So it's like, and it is the best platform. Like, I know TikTok's around and about now, but YouTube is the best platform to put kind of lengthy videos up to kind of show different parts of your life. And that's kind of why I do YouTube, is obviously the main reason was to kind of share my wrestling journey, because you kind of met me before I started training. Then you kind of trained with me because I shared all my videos, shared training clips, had my debut, had, you know, the matches that followed, wrestling vlogs, so you kind of go on the road with me. And so you kind of literally have like my journey, or parts of it anyway, in videos, which is kind of why I made it. And then with like lockdown, I thought, well, you know, I like other things, and I have put other things on my YouTube, like little fashion things, lifestyle stuff, or just getting to know me as a person, because I think, you know, it's important to kind of sometimes, you know, you have to kind of be a brand now, I feel. And just kind of getting to know me. So obviously with lockdown, I've just kind of been like, okay, well, I can't do the wrestling. Are we even allowed to say the word wrestling on this podcast?
No, you can say it. We just don't talk about it. It's fine.
Hang up on me. Hang up, you're done.
Interview is over. Press button.
That's it. But like obviously, I'm like, okay, come to terms with the fact there's very limited things you can do on that. You know, why don't you just focus on like letting people get to know you, which I've really enjoyed. But I feel like YouTube as like a platform, I mean, I've had so many issues with it. Like I was trying to do some live streams, and they just kept cutting me off after 5 minutes, and they were saying I'm doing copyright, and I'm thinking, what do you mean? It's just me sitting in my room having a chat. Do you know? Like, I'm thinking, what's the copyright? So I had a lot of issues with that. Eventually got it working. I have a lot of issues with like, so for example, my wrestling vlogs, say I'm talking and there's like a little bit of music in the background, like they'll pick it up and they'll be like, we're taking your video down, and you can mute it and things like that. There are like ways around it, but they're very difficult. And like obviously with YouTube you can make money on it, but like the monetization requirements are like 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers, and I feel like they don't really marry, because like it's quite plausible and quite easy to get 1,000 subscribers. Like I've got like over 3,000 now, but 4,000 watch hours in a year is no like easy feat unless you get a viral video. It's really, really difficult. Like, I mean, I've been posting so much content because people are like, oh, you know, like they think I'm making money off it. I'm like, no, I just do it for fun. But when you have a look at it, because I thought, let me look into it, you know, I'm doing quite a lot, like maybe I should monetize it and be a little bit smarter about what I'm doing. And like I had a look at it, and it's like crazy the requirements to get monetized now. And I think it is weird, isn't it? Because, you know, if you go on my page, I've posted probably like well over 100 videos. They're really well shot. They're all child friendly, apart from the one where I'm going to murder a sim. They're all very like, you know, family friendly, like good content, range of content there. Got quite a lot of subscribers and views and comments and likes, but it's not really enough for them. They're like, no, we need 4,000 watch hours. And I'm just sort of, and so now over lockdown, I think I've had to focus on something. So I've attached myself to this, like, you get like a little monetization meter and you see how close you are. And I just love it. Like every morning I have a little look at it, and it blows my mind, because I just think, why is it, say you're like you know, for me, like I say, YouTube's just something I do for fun. It's just another way for me to kind of try and get my personality across and show my wrestling and show who I am. But say, imagine you're like a small content creator. Say you're really good at gaming, or you're a really good makeup artist, and you're just looking for a way to get exposure and make money. It would take you years to even make like $20 on YouTube.
Yeah,
because of the requirements they've set in. But I remember when I first did YouTube in 2017, I did a couple of videos, just, you know, like I said before, my wrestling, just getting to know me. I've actually got £30 in my AdSense account, but I can't get it because I'm not monetized. So it's sat there. It has sat there looking at me for 2 years. So I mean, it's like, it's sat there, and I didn't realise, and I found it the other day, but I couldn't get it unless I monetized. But it was crazy because obviously those 3 videos that I put up, and don't get me wrong, like, they're well shot with the camera, lights, and all that jazz, but like, you know, these 3 videos, they didn't even have that many views, and they'd made 30 quid. So like, think about it. If you're like a small creator, YouTube was like a fantastic platform to do your passion, but actually get income, because it's all well and good to be an artist, but if you're not making money, it's not sustainable, right? So it was a great way for people to make money. And like, you know, I'm looking back and thinking, if I stuck with it, I would have been like rolling in it. But now I've got 30 quid in my AdSense account just staring at me, and I can't even get it. And I'm making like all these videos, and I'm thinking, so I find YouTube a little bit difficult to handle.
It's a bit of a necessary evil, because you enjoy doing it, but at the same time, stuff on it is aggravating. I can.
Yeah.
Are we gonna? Should we discuss your $1 million idea on how to get loads of money on YouTube that involves your headphones?
So we were saying, like, so we're about to start the Skype conversation. I was going to say podcast, but we didn't start the podcast. We started a Skype conversation for half an hour before we decided to film. But I'm like, oh yeah, I'll be ready in a minute. Got all my stuff sorted out, grabbed my headphones, which I had literally used yesterday for filming, and somehow they had knotted themselves into the most like about 6 knots on top of each other. And we were saying, how do headphones do that? And I said, I want to film it and put it on a time lapse. And we were just joking about the fact that me putting my headphones tangling themselves up on a time lapse would be what gets me viral. No one cares about the wrestling. No one cares about your makeup. We don't care about your Animal Crossing. Show us those headphones. That's what we want.
We're gonna end up, and this is like, what happened to Mariah? It's like, she started wrestling, but then she just made millions on like the headphone YouTube circuit. Like,
yeah, that's her now. She's retired.
Speaking of stuff like this, random stuff on YouTube. Are you someone who spends a lot of time on YouTube outside of like making your own content? Like, are you one of those people that ends up like falling down like those YouTube wormholes where you're just sitting there just clicking and clicking and clicking?
I can't stop. Like, so like I say, I'm not into TV that much anymore. Like like, I like wrestling obviously, but maybe it's because of like watching wrestling. I feel bad every time I say this word. I feel like I'm going to get hung up on. But you know, so for me, like, I normally watch wrestling on telly, and I feel like I don't really watch any TV. Like, maybe like some reality stuff, but I just struggle to watch telly. And what I have found is, I don't know if it's because I'm on YouTube so much creating videos and stuff, I can't stop watching it, and I'm watching videos and I'm thinking, why am I watching it? Like, sometimes the person making the video just isn't for me. Like, I don't like them, but then I'll sit and watch every single one of their videos, probably make them about 50 quid. I'll just sit and watch all that. I don't even know why. Like, I go down these like rabbit holes, and I'm like, where am I and why am I here? Like,
I agree. And then also, again, realise that me and you are very similar, because it's like, I don't really watch a lot of TV. I just watch a lot of wrestling and then like reality TV stuff. I'm like, yeah, same, pretty much. Like, at the moment, all I've been like watching old TNA stuff. This is the only bit of wrestling's getting mentioned from me there. And then other stuff is literally whatever's on E from like 11 a.m. to 3. So I've been watching the old season of Total Bellas, or watching
I love it.
Very Cavallari, because I was very excited that someone from the Hills had their own reality TV show. I
feel like you watch more reality TV than me.
Oh, I am
Total Divas and Bellas, but you're there like very Cavallari. Like,
I watch so much. Like, it has to be American trashy reality TV. British stuff isn't. I'm sorry, British stuff isn't as good. It has to be like Jersey Shore, or it has to be The Hills. It can't be. I can't watch Geordie Shore. I can't abide by it.
I hadn't seen Jersey Shore, and Dan was like, and this surprised me, right? Because Dan doesn't watch telly really. Like, he like works out, plays PlayStation, watches wrestling. That's Dan, right? But he really shocked me the other day. I was like, I've never seen Jersey Shore. He's like, you have to watch it. And I'm thinking, why on earth have you?
Oh, I've gained a whole new respect for Danny Duggan, but purely based on the fact that he's next time I see him, I'll be like, spoke to Maz. Me and you both love Jersey Shore. It's so good. So good.
It's just funny though, because it's like it's the least, like, you know someone and you just don't expect what's going to come out of their mouth. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, you've got to watch it now. Like, I'll get it on Sky. And I'd come back and he downloaded it. And he's like, when are we watching this? And I'm like, what is going on? But it's good fun, isn't it? Like the way they talk and stuff. And I think what he said was funny about it, because I made him watch Geordie Shore. Because I grew up watching Geordie Shore, and I will admit, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like the first 12 seasons, and then it went downhill when they swapped all the cast.
First 12 seasons.
only the first 12. 4 years of my life. But like, I made him watch that, and he's like, it's not as good because they're not like characters, like, you know, like what's he called, Vinny, and like, you know, they're all like really funny, over the top, like the way that they are, like, the way that they come in and they go, I'm Mike the situation. This is before they're famous. They've literally gone into a room and introduced themselves as, I'm Mike the situation.
Yeah,
like I said, I'm almost envious. Like, I might go into a room now and be like, I'm the glamour Mariah May. I'll probably get punched in the mouth, but do you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking, it's just, I'm Sammy Sweetheart. And I'm like, why do they all have nicknames on season 1?
It's the best. And the one thing I feel like is the thing with me, it's why also, like, a lot of people, I get a lot of grief when it comes to TV for not being a massive, like, I don't like the in-betweeners, and a lot of people hate me for that. Don't, you know why? It hits too close to home to my real life, but so it just hurts a little bit. But Jersey Shore, I'm like, no, this is it's too close to, like, people I've seen. It's why I don't watch, like, Towie, because I'm like, well, I know these people. They're from my end.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, when you said about British reality TV, I agree with you up until, like, I will say Geordie Shore was good when it started. I mean, now that I've watched Jersey Shore, I think, oh, okay, it's not
by comparison, yeah.
But like, I when I was growing up and watching it, it was quality, just watching other people be a mess, because you kind of got that release, but you didn't have to, like, embarrass yourself. So it was good fun, and I loved Towie growing up. Like, it went really, I mean, Towie got away with it for like a good 12, 14 seasons. Again, when they swap the cast out and it becomes like overproduced, it went downhill. But I remember loving it. But I guess it's because, like, I'm not from Essex, and the way that they portray these people is like so over the top. Do you know what I mean? Like, they really market it.
What I love about Towie and saying to other people is when they go, oh yeah, when I meet up people that are not from Essex, they're like, Essex, like, you know, Essex. I went, yeah, no, that's the posh part of Essex. Like, they're like, what? I went, no, that's the posh bit. Like, that's that's the rich part of Essex. That's not actually Essex. Where I'm from is pretty much Essex. And then I had the moment where, of course, it would happen, where someone that was like 2 years below me at school ended up on Tony Blair's Essex, and I'm like, no. Yeah, no, like, no, I will name drop. It's Dan Osborne. He was 2 years below me in senior school.
I got asked to be on it because, like, I did, like, you know, obviously I've done a bit of modelling, and the agency are with that. They're really interested in, like, talking to you about Towie, but I'm thinking, I'm not from Essex.
Well, no, but it's a bunch of. It's like it blew my mind that, because the one British reality TV show I do love and dip in and out of is Made in Chelsea. I do love Made in Chelsea.
Really? See, I don't like it. I feel like we're really, like, discovering things here now about, like, people don't like shows from, like, that are near them. But I mean, I'm nowhere near Chelsea, but I just found it so dry, because obviously when I was younger, I watched Geordie Shore and Towie, and I continued to watch them. But then all my friends at the school I was at, I mean, they were all really posh. They all watched Made in Chelsea, but I watched it and I just thought, this is so dry. Like, when is someone gonna, like, get naked and, like, fall off? Do you know what I mean? And, like, fall over and then be sick on themselves?
TWM podcasts are brought to you by We Love Sport, the fantastic app finding you your nearest sports bar showing the latest WWE pay-per-views. We Love Sport has over 400 of the best sports bars and pubs in the UK at your fingertips and allows you to book front row seats, giving you the best views of the action. You can also check out what sports are being shown over the next 7 days, making sure you don't miss a second of the action. Download the We Love Sport app on the App Store or Google Play Store. Follow We Love Sport on all social media platforms at We Love Sport UK, and check out welovesport.co.
TWM podcasts have joined forces with WrestleCrate, the original and best monthly theme, monthly wrestling subscription service to bring you a fantastic deal. If you use the code TWM Wrestling when you sign up to a monthly subscription at WrestleCrate.co.uk, you will receive a free item in your first month's box. Then, if you stay for another month, you'll get a second free item. And then, if you stay for a third month, you guessed it, we'll give you a third free item. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. WrestleCrate brings you the best swag from the biggest companies and names in the wrestling world. We're talking t-shirts, photos, pins, DVDs, vinyl figures, and loads more from WWE, Progress, Shakara, NXT, Fight Club Pro, and loads more. That's WrestleCrate.co.uk and use the code TWM Wrestling for up to free items, all thanks to WrestleCrate and TWM.
Like everyone's just there, like, and the arguments that they have are so chilled out. Like they're talking to each other like this. Like, you told me that my dog looks fat, and like they're just talking to each other like that. And I'm thinking, how are you gonna have a scrabble? What's gonna happen? Like they just, I don't know.
It might be because, like I said, like that's like the British version of like The Hills, but they actually had some dramatic arguments. Like you had the Audrina and.
I never watched
Audrina and Elsa. Oh, you know what? Genuinely, if you like, it's like one of the, it's the archetype. It's like the first, like from our time. It's like the blueprint for reality TV. There's some tremendous bits in that. It's more laid back, but there are some dramatic moments in it.
I have seen, like, obviously I know who they all are, and I've like seen them, you know, when they've been on Big Brother and things like that. But I have seen like episodes because when I went a couple of years ago when I was at work, The Office would always have on. I don't know what channel, like VH1 is it, or something like that, where they play music, but occasionally they'll play like TV shows. And for some reason, like between like 1 and 4 p.m, it would always play The Hills, and it would just. So I've seen like random episodes here and there, and I can't help but feel like this is my kind of show because it is really what I would like, so I do need to watch it.
So this will be, we'll sit down one time, maybe that should be a YouTube video, we sit down and me and you can watch The Hills and we'll discuss it. Before more people end up absolutely hating this, because we're going to speak about an hour about reality TV, we'll switch gears a little bit. You spoke about kind of your love of clothes and fashion and stuff, and like you do a lot of stuff on trainers and on shoes, and then you do like your try-on hauls and stuff, which I will say, like obviously when we did our first interview, I did my research and watched their stuff, and I have seen a bunch of like YouTubers. They're primarily like the girlfriends of YouTubers I watch that end up doing these like try-on clothing hauls. But yours are actually, I only sat there when actually, if someone else had, like, it's obviously not my bag pretty much, but if someone else had this on, yours were like a lot more entertaining than other people. Like,
I feel like it's because as well, like, I don't know, but I feel like, you know, obviously the problem with me, right, is if you're trying to like establish, I don't know, an Instagram page or a YouTube page or whatever, you kind of have to have like a brand. So like I'm a fashion blogger, or like I'm a gamer or whatever, and then you've got me who's like throwing it all at the wall and just being like, this is real, this is me, come to my YouTube.
Until I feel eventually like when you get to headphone YouTube, that's the end game. We eventually get to headphone YouTube.
That is the final chapter.
The final form.
But I think it's because, like, obviously with fashion, I mean, I feel like I'm quite informative about it, but I feel like it's because I don't care. Like, I'm not looking for the sponsorship. I'm just going to tell you the truth. I've actually spent my hard-earned money on these clothes, and if they're not very nice, I'm going to dig them out.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why, like, I did a haul from Pretty Little Thing. I got a size 8 skirt, and I could have fit myself, my mum, and my dog in it because it was just so badly made, which is not surprising for them. And like, I'm just honest. But, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm looking to buy from a shop and I've never bought from them before, the first thing I'll do is go on YouTube, because you get real people saying this size is not good, the quality is not good, or the shipping costs or whatever. You want someone who's actually going to tell you the truth, not someone who's sitting there looking for like the sponsorship deal to be sent free clothes. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's a difference between being like a phony and just being real about it. And I think you have to be realistic. And I think that's why you said you found it entertaining. It's probably because I'm the only one who's sitting there being like, no, they're not good.
this is fine. This sucks. I'd wear this. No, but it was just, I ended up just going through and I'm like, yeah, no, like this isn't like, I'm sitting there going, like waiting for, I'm not sitting there going, yeah, no, this isn't appealing to anyone. But at least like the way you talk about it, you could tell, rather than like you said, a spongy thing, you actually care. Like it's one of those things. But kind of my thing was, much like, because obviously you do all these hauls and these try-on stuff, the one thing I always wonder, how often do you have to organise like reorganise like your wardrobes and drawers? Because I feel like Like, I have a lot of, particularly just t-shirts, and I have to organise them like 3-4 times a year. But I imagine with the amount of stuff that you kind of bring in, I imagine you're doing that a lot more than I am when it comes to reorganising clothes. Honestly,
I just don't even get me started on it. Like, I'm a neat freak, so I need everything to be immaculate. Like, I literally, honestly, like, poor Dan, like, when he's just living his life, just relaxing, I'll literally try and like go in and kind of clean around him, and like he's like, do you need me to help? I can move, and I'm like, just stay there. Like I can't help myself. Like I just need to be clean. Like, that's my like way of like living. And like, so the problem is so I do remember, like, I was being sent clothes to review, and like I say, I'm always honest. Like, I'm not, and I say this to them, and they're like, can we send you stuff? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm gonna be honest. Like, so don't send it to me and expect me to like be really positive if your stuff's not good. But like, people will send it, and like, so I get sent clothes. I love to buy clothes. I love to just burn my money on clothes and have no responsibility in my life. But I have so many clothes, and it just becomes this battle of like trying to find places to put clothes. Like, my family's house, they have like a spare room, and it's just my clothes now. That's my room. That's got all my clothes in it, and just everything you open, you'll just find like Mariah's clothes. Like, there's like, you know, like laundry cupboard, like towel cupboards, Mariah's clothes are in there. Everywhere you go, like the downstairs area, like any cupboard, Mariah's shoes are in there. And it's just like, why is your stuff everywhere? And I'm like, I just have too much. But I do give a lot of it to my mum, to be fair. Like, all the stuff I get sent, I'd probably give it to my mum. But she loves it. She comes in my room sometimes, like, because I work with WWE Shop, so they send me a lot of shirts, like a lot of wrestling shirts, like more shirts than a girl could wear. And sometimes I'm like, you know, give my mum a couple. But what I find now is if she sees a package, I'll get a knock on my door a couple of days later, like, right, have you got any shirts for me? Just coming in to get clothes. So my mum gets a lot of, like, you know, like the things I'm sent. But yeah, I've got like, they're just, my stuff's everywhere, which is very difficult being like a neat freak, but I've just got nowhere to put it. Like I ever said, if I moved out, I wouldn't have a kitchen, I'd just have a closet.
Where are we going to eat? I don't know, outside? I need this for my clothes.
So you open up the stove and there's a pair of shoes in there.
Where are my shoes? I believe they're in the fridge, Mariah. Oh, yeah, fair enough. Like, no, I'm kind of this, I'm mind t-shirts though. Like I have 3 set, I have like my work t-shirts, I have my like date night going out t-shirts, I then have my British wrestling, which is my biggest drawer, like full of about 50 odd wrestling t-shirts, and then in the other corner is my WWE t-shirts.
I feel like we need like a TMW wardrobe haul now.
Yeah,
we need to do like a YouTube.
Me just there's our first video. Me just going through, going, look, here's my thing, here's my thing, here's my thing.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing in purple.
It's like here's all these shirts I bought off Etsy because I was bored a few days ago. Like I was gonna say, you already said you're a neat freak. Like have you got help me? I'm useless. Any tips for keeping clothes tidy?
Oh, so I forgive me if I say her name wrong, but I think it's Marie Kondo.
Oh, I was going to say, do you watch Marie Kondo? That was going to be my next question.
Because she's on well, so for me, I always did it like, I mean, it'd be different for guys, but like for me, I did it by colour in my drawers. So I organised the shirts by colour. But when it gets to wrestling shirts, I feel like don't do this tactic because they're always black. But like with my normal stuff, so like excluding wrestling stuff, I always did it by colour in each drawer. And I tried to kind of do one side is the going out stuff and one side is like the t-shirts.
Yeah.
So I feel like the best trick to do is to kind of organise like t-shirts and colour coordination, any jumpers, joggers, things like try and just find like an organisation for it. It's the best way. And then once you have that big overhaul, you can just keep on top of it. But then I watched her and she's like, hold your clothes and tell yourself, does this bring me joy? And if it doesn't bring you joy, throw it away. And then I was like, this changed the game. So I'm there like sitting in my closet, like holding my clothes, trying to feel something.
You're like staring at some jogging bottoms going, do you make me happy? Do you?
But then I don't throw things away. I think that's my issue. Like I said, I'll give stuff to my mum. Or I was really ruthless once, and I think it was after I watched her, I thought, right, I'm fed up, like none of my drawers shut properly. Got so much stuff, and like I was actually quite ruthless, and I just went through it and I thought, I haven't worn this in 2 years, throw, made this massive pile and stacked it all up, and I'm gonna throw it away. And I come back and like this outside, it's gone. And I'm like, what? Like, where's the stuff gone? my mum's got it. And she went, oh yeah, well, I thought, what a shame to throw it away. And I'm like, Mum, you're making the issue worse. We're trying to like get things out of the house, and then you're just coming and putting it into your wardrobe.
Oh, my response would have been, well, it's not my problem anymore now. This is your problem now.
Well, you say that, right? But okay, when you, I don't know, if you break up with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, you never want to see them again. You block them, you delete all your pictures, whatever. I feel like it's the same thing with clothes. Like, it's really hard to part with them sometimes, but you just have to be brutal and be like, look, I don't wear you. As much as I love you, I don't wear it. It's very difficult when I get rid of something. It's hard, but I'm like, okay, I've done it. I'm free now. And then I see my mother wearing it 2 weeks later in the kitchen. I'm like, now I want it back.
The clothing equivalent of seeing your ex with their new other half.
Their new boo in my kitchen. I'm like, excuse me, I want that cardigan back. And, right, I see things every day and I'm thinking, that's mine. And she's like, it's mine now. I'm like, oh my god, I just see her like wandering around in like different things, and I'm like, I miss them. But she's obviously wearing them a lot more than I ever did. So
my only rule of thumb, I don't know how this happened, was somehow any tops where wrestlers ended up like retiring, they ended up becoming pajama tops rather than wearing them out. So I looked for my pajama tops and I went CM Punk, Paige, Tyson Kidd. I'm like, why have I only sleep in wrestlers that have retired? It's like, we're not wrestling anymore, so therefore now I don't wear you outside.
A weird ritual, like when they retire, like you're laying them to rest.
Yeah, it's like, you are no longer a shirt I wear outside. Yeah, this has gone all over the place, which is brilliant. This is exactly what we wanted, anything but wrestling. Can I just ask like a few quick questions to wrap things up? Because trust me, me and Maz could go on for hours about random stuff like this. We said, like, you're obviously not watching a little bit of stuff, but is there anything in particular that you've watched recently while you've been stuck inside that you've enjoyed? So Jersey Shore. Yes, of course.
I thought, if you've never seen it, watch it because it is comedy gold. And then a lot of wrestling. Shame, I can't say the word, but wrestling, YouTube down the rabbit holes. You know, you'll find endless fun on YouTube. Yeah. But TV series wise, I think I rewatched 90210. Very like kind of, it's a bit like The Hills, but obviously it's like a drama.
Was there a remake or is it the OG one?
So I'm watching the remake. Yeah. I've never seen the OG one, but I'm really enjoying the remake. So I didn't even realise it was a remake until I like Googled it. So I'm really enjoying that. I'm watching that on all four. They've got the full box there, which is brilliant. And then on Netflix, I watched a really good. These are all very like teen drama. So sorry everyone. But I think it's called Never Have I Ever, and I just put it on just for some background noise. But I ended up thoroughly enjoying it. Like the girl in it was just a little drama queen. I loved it. Oh, she was just. I was just like, this is literally me as a child. Like, but I really, really enjoyed that. I thought it was a great little teen drama, and also it was really diverse as a cast, which I thought was so much better now because we've got so much more representation. So I feel like it's much better now that we're getting teen dramas like that, because when I was growing up it was always very one-sided. So I really enjoyed that. I thought that was brilliant. So definitely recommend that if you like that kind of drama, if you like teen drama. I thought it was fantastic. I watched it all last night while playing The Sims. So yeah, I guess that's sort of it. And then, like I say, just down the rabbit hole on YouTube.
What music do you like listening to? What kind of particular stuff?
I'm so sorry, my music taste is so bad. So, you know, people always talk about music, like music fanatics, and like, oh, what type of music do you like? I'm one of those people, like, I'll listen to anything and everything. I listen to work out to, I listen to like Kanye West, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj. Like, I like to listen to rap because I just think the beat and stuff it's easier to work out to. And then in terms of like relaxing and things like that, like I like kind of pop music, but I don't like current pop music so much, apart from like Ariana Grande and stuff. I'm not really into current pop music because I feel like it all sounds like, you know, Love Island. It literally sounds like a Love Island track. I don't know why.
Oh no, yeah, I do see your point. Yeah, I
don't know, it's because I don't listen to it, but anytime I put on like Capital on the radio, it's literally just like, you know, Dua Lipa and all those kind of people. And don't get me wrong, like maybe it's just not for me, but music now, so like pop music all kind of sounds like that backing track on Love Island, that like club music kind of just backing track. So I'm not really into like current pop music, but I like old pop music and old school kind of like R&B. So that's the kind of stuff that I would listen to now if I ever want to just chill out and listen to a bit of music, like old school R&B, old school pop music, pop princesses, that kind of stuff. But I'm not so much into kind of the current things on the radio for me.
Oh no, again, me and you kind of same era-ish when it comes to like garage, R&B, hip hop, that sort of thing, and pop music. I'm a massive pophead. There's another wrestler in America, Katie Catal, who will be on an Anything But Wrestling in the near future, and I guarantee that episode and the TW talks before, we spent half the time talking about 90s pop music and like
it's the best,
the Spice Girls and Bewitched and stuff.
But you know what I feel like it did? Like they always had like a good story to them. I mean, I know some of the older pop music was just like, now it's just generic, but I always feel like they had more to them than just like, if your guy left you, become like a bad bitch. It's like, you know, now that's kind of every song is just like, you know, my boyfriend left me, but I look great.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a story. And don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic message. Love it. But I feel like that is the only message now. And if you're sitting there and you're like, you know, 16, you're like, I don't have a boyfriend. I've never had a boyfriend. Like, you know what I mean? It's like not relatable. When you listen to old pop songs, they're like, they've got more to them. Like they talk about different stuff and they kind of, the lyrics are so much better. Like they're not repetitive, but obviously times change, tastes change, what people are into changes. But that's why I love old pop music, because it's just, there's more to it, that, you know, it's way more multifaceted than just my boyfriend left me and now I look hot, you know. So I really like it for that reason as well. I feel like it's just much better.
Like I think me, Mike, and Kyle, who do the Wrestling World Report, like independent wrestling stuff, we genuinely got into a 45-minute to an hour conversation on WhatsApp about the top 3 Girls Aloud songs, and was like probably going, actually, you find this one's really good. And like, we're just banging out album tracks and all this stuff, and we're like, we got really in depth about like what the best like Girls Aloud songs were, because they don't get mentioned nearly enough as a really good girl band. Like they released one of the best pop records ever, I feel, in Biology. Biology is a banger. It does not get enough love. And I will hammer that to my dying day.
I don't know. I feel like it's difficult, because I don't want to knock it, because, you know, we're talking about it because maybe that's what we grew up with. So for us, you know, that's
that
what we like.
nostalgia thing, innit?
I don't want to knock like current pop music, but like I say, from what I ever hear, like if I do pop the radio on in the car, like it's all the same. It's that Love Island backing track music, always about like your boyfriend leaving you, and I'm like, why did your boyfriend have to leave you for you to become a strong person? Like, I hate that that's like the only narrative that seems to be on the radio now. It's just, do you know what I mean? Like the only girl power is because a man left you. Like that's just, I don't know. I don't like it. Whereas I feel like old pop music was just about being a bad bitch regardless. So it's just like, that's why I think it's so much better. And like, you know, and like I say, old school R&B and stuff, it was just so much better, like the beat and stuff. But, you know,
I do love the fact that the older, like, our generation is getting, and we used to moan about our parents being like, in my day our music was better, and we are just becoming that now.
Literally those people. Like my mum is absolute 80s on the radio every single day, and I'm like, do you ever get tired? She's like, no. And like, obviously, you know, when I was like younger and she took me to school, parties, whatever, absolute 80s. And like now I'm like, I get it, because if there was like a channel, well, I guess there kind of is, but there's like a channel that literally plays like the best kind of pop songs that we grew up to, I would just listen to that all the time. I mean, I kind of do on Spotify, so I'm like, I feel like I've turned into my mother.
It's one of those things. Best meal that you can cook?
I'm not a very good cook. This is terrible, right? I actually did a cooking course for 2 years when I was at school. But the thing is all it taught me was like how to make really complicated meals and like full spreads, as in like a starter, main, side, dessert. Like, so if someone's like, do you want to cook something up for dinner? I'm like, you'll have to sit down for a 3-course meal. Is what you'll have to do. Did you
accidentally go on MasterChef? Is this what happened?
Like, honestly, but do you know what the comedy bit is? It's like, so I don't know why I did it. Like, my friends were doing it and I was being a sheep and joined in. Massively regretted my decision. Should have thought it through. I ended up like doing this 2-year cooking course. And obviously you have to pay for it. So I'm like, if I don't pass, like my parents are going to be so ashamed of me. So like, I'm like, I felt such a pressure to like do well. And literally every single week you had like a 3-hour cooking lesson, but you had to make like a time plan. You had to plan out every detail of this meal. Like, honestly, I can't begin to describe how stressful it was and unnecessary. Like, you know, when you're doing your A-levels and all your extracurriculars and all that kind of stuff and trying to figure out what you're going to do when you leave school. Yeah. The last thing you need to learn to do is like create a pumpkin pie from scratch. But for some reason I decided to take that on. But when it came to the examination, right, I'm right at the front in front of this woman and I'm trying to do like treacle pudding. You have to literally put like the pot in the pan and like tie tinfoil around it with a piece of string. So it's like so tedious. I've got really shaky hands anyway. I'm literally there shaking like a leaf. I've gone into the ingredients room and cried for 10 minutes. 10 minutes in the middle of my exam crying. But I passed and everyone else failed because they didn't cook their lamb properly. Theirs was all raw.
Yes,
I was the only person
Maz.
who cooked my lamb properly. So despite the fact that I was in the room crying and you all just walked in, got your butter and didn't look at me, I passed my exam and you didn't. So, yeah, all that happened. And I don't really cook that much. Like, Dan's a really, really good cook. So I just sort of sit down and just wait for the plate to be presented to me, if I'm completely honest. Like, I love it. It's gone from my mum cooking for me to Dan cooking for me, so I'm really like getting by here.
That's what the next 90s pop song should be about. The next pop song release should be about the time when Mariah cried in the stockroom, but she still passed her cooking course. And
I was the only one that passed it.
This is my redemption story. I love that. Right, last two questions. Asking everyone these questions. They're the most left field ones I could think of. What do you think is more likely to be real, aliens or ghosts?
What's wrong with you? What's this question?
Yeah, no. Is it?
Well, you're really sending me into like a dark hole.
Which one? Do you think it's aliens or ghosts? Which one do you think is more likely to be real?
Didn't they see UFOs the other day?
Maybe.
If I made that, I'm sure I literally saw something like they saw UFOs and we're not talking about it.
Someone said that like the Pentagon released like photos of UFOs just randomly during the middle of this and no one paid attention to it. I
don't know, because the thing is, right? If there were ghosts, how would they all fit on the Earth? Because think about how many people have like been born and died. Like, if there were ghosts, how would they all fit? And also, like, I feel like when people think of ghosts, they think of like evil, like paranormal activity, like insidious kind of like evil people. Yeah. Which I don't necessarily think that's true. I feel like when you die, it's just blackout. I feel like that's curtains for you. I don't think there's anything else.
So you're more likely to believe aliens?
I don't think ghosts. But then I don't want to sit here and say aliens because I've not seen one yet. So I feel like neither, if I'm honest.
What thing you said before? Yeah, you could say neither. Like, it's one of those things. It's just one of those questions that I kind of...
Neither. I'm no fun. I don't believe in either.
Either.
Sorry.
Nothing. It's nothing's real. This interview's a mess, but it's the best kind of mess ever. The last question, I asked this one because some people don't believe in them, some people do, and I feel like you do get a good back and forth between people, whether they really believe it or really don't. Like, conspiracy theory. Have you got a favourite one? Do you believe in any of them, or is there one that's so ridiculous that you are like, that's my favourite because it's so like insane?
I feel like you put me on the spot here because I've not had time to properly collect my thoughts about conspiracy theories. To be honest, it's weird because I really like struggle with this kind of stuff because, I mean, some of them are naff, like some of them are so out there, I'm like, no. Yeah. But then you do hear stories that actually end up being true and like you wouldn't believe it if there wasn't evidence. Yeah. I don't know, because like when you say conspiracy theory, I know you're talking about more outlandish stuff, but for example, like obviously with the Madeleine McCann documentary that came out, everyone come up with their own conspiracy theory on what happened, and a lot of people said it was parents. Oh yeah, no, totally. And someone put this whole thing on Twitter, and it was, you know, all these different things about like apparently there being a fridge in their car, them going to a dump, all this different stuff, and I'm there like mind blown, really like buying into this. Yeah. And then they were all just completely disbanded, and I was like, oh, like there was actually factual evidence to disband it. So it's like, it's really difficult because I think you should always be open-minded because crazy things do happen. And, you know, I don't know, because I'm kind of thinking more about crime. So I don't know, when you say conspiracy theory, you might be talking about other kind of stuff. It could be anything. Like, you have the Tiger King one as well, like with the Carol Baskin thing, where it's like, it's a conspiracy theory. She definitely murdered her husband. Yeah. Which is, I love that. It's people put it down as a conspiracy theory. It's like, it's not a conspiracy theory when it's clear as day that she did it as well. That's not conspiracy theory, that's fact. But no, because I feel like you do always have to be open-minded, because imagine you don't consider something and then that ends, because, you know, I don't know about you, but like, I guess I'm talking about more minimal stuff, not your child going missing in Portugal. Yeah, but, like, I don't know about you, but do you ever like crazy things happen to you in life? You're like, I wish someone just saw that happen. Like, no one just saw it. Just like you get them, you get those ones, like the whole conspiracy theory, like life is a simulation. And like you see those like glitches in the Matrix where like two things that are very similar happen, or weird stuff, and that's one of those things. But then again, at the same time, like my two favourite ones, which you'll hear on every podcast when we talk about this, because I always think they're hilarious. My favourite ridiculous one is the theory that in the 80s, President Ronald Reagan wiped out all the birds and replaced them with robots with listening devices in. Which is like the best thing ever. Do you know what though? It's crazy because like in the Hunger Games, which is like a like dystopian future, obviously, that's what happens to the birds. They're all like cameras and listening devices or mimicking things. So.
And then the Avril Lavigne one is a great one.
You're now going to see like videos of me just running around chasing birds in the news, like great deranged woman cuts open a pigeon.
I can't wait. The future of your YouTube channel is going to be headphones, murdering in The Sims, and you screaming after birds, saying, "Are you a camera?" It's going to be brilliant.
But I don't know. I don't know, because I always actually, on the thing about simulation, I don't know if it's because I play Sims. But I do always wonder, like, when life gets so bad that it's almost funny. Like, do you know when like a series of bad things happen to you, and you know when it's like you just laugh, you're literally like, this is my day today. Like, this is just the way it's going. I always sit there and think, is this Sims? Is someone taking the stairs out of the swimming pool? Has someone taken away the door in the bar? Is this what's happening?
It's like the whole Truman Show thing. Like that is a viable conspiracy theory that like we're all some sort of show for like some sort of. Like,
I'm really hoping not, because I would just be an embarrassment.
It's like,
you know what I mean?
It's like I feel like you'd be if that was true, you'd be really upset if like I would be sitting there going, like, am I a channel for some like alien TV show? And they must be really bored, because all it is just me sitting around on my computer just being like, this is entertaining at all. Why are you watching this channel?
That's what I make my Sims do, to be fair. I make them sit on their computer so they can increase their gaming skills.
Oh, so yeah.
Maybe that's what they're doing to us.
It's like that time where you get to the point, and again, full circle, since we talk about The Sims and Grand Theft Auto at the start. It's like when you get so bored in Grand Theft Auto, you just start obeying the traffic laws. And you start just driving around normally and stopping at lights.
A new low, I've obeyed the traffic laws in Grand Theft Auto.
I'm that bored.
When I was younger, I actually thought that, like, I don't know, it's because I had a dollhouse. I literally thought there were giants that would move us. I thought that was
That's an amazing one. I love that. I love those things.
But I mean, obviously now, like, we've seen outside of Earth and we know that's not what's happening. But I always kind of thought that. But then, like, I guess the simulation theory it ties in, because I almost feel like my life is sometimes like a tragedy / comedy sometimes, and I'm like, is this someone on Sims just taking the mick? Like, is this what's happening, or is it like my karma for like doing what I've done on Sims? Because I murdered a man on Sims and left him on his family's doorstep. Is this my karma?
Is this your karma?
I've just stubbed my toe as karma. Is that what's happening?
Well, this was a journey. This was so much fun, and I'm so happy we got you on for anything but wrestling. Mariah, plug away. Tell people. We've kind of spoke a lot a bit about your YouTube and stuff, but please tell people how they can keep an eye with what you're doing when you start your Sim/headphone YouTube channel.
Oh my god! Well, if you want to see pictures of me, it's Instagram.com/MariahMayX. If you want to see tweets where I just talk about anything and everything and go down a hole, then go on to twitter.com/MariahMayX. And following the pattern, we have youtube.com/MariahMayX, where I do all sorts of stuff. I have my wrestling matches and vlogs, and then I murder Sims and take away the doors. So yeah, if that's sort of your bag, then go ahead and check out my YouTube channel, everyone.
There you are, notable professional wrestler, YouTuber, and psychopath, Mariah May. I'm joking. It's a delight to have you on, as always. And we'll hopefully speak again very soon. Thanks for being on.
Oh, thanks for having me.